The first time I heard my name in that room, it didn't sound like mine anymore. It sounded like a sentence. Amina Okoye. The man who said it didn't look at me like a person. He looked at me like paperwork, something already signed, sealed and irreversible. The air in the room felt too expensive to breathe. Marble floors, gold accents, men in suits who didn't smile. And at the center of it all, him. He didn't move when I walked in, didn't blink, didn't even acknowledge me the way normal people do. His presence wasn't loud, it was controlled, dangerous, like a storm that had already decided where it would land. "I think there's a mistake," I said, my voice steady even when my chest wasn't. "I wasn't the one you called for." That was when his eyes finally met mine. Dark, cold, assessing. "No," he said calmly. "There is no mistake." My fingers curled into my palm, grounding myself. This had to be a misunderstanding. It had to be. I wasn't supposed to be here. I wasn't supposed to be in a room with men who looked like they could end lives without raising their voices. "I think you want my sister," I added carefully. "She's the one your sister ran." The words landed like a slap I didn't see coming. Silence swallowed the room. "And now," he continued, his tone unchanged, "you will take her place." No. The word left my mouth before fear could catch up with it, before logic could tell me to stay quiet, before my survival instincts could remind me that men like him didn't hear. No. They erased it. A few of the men in the room shifted slightly, like they were waiting for something, maybe for him to react, maybe for me to regret speaking. But he didn't explode, didn't raise his voice. He just stood up. And somehow, that was worse. He walked toward me slowly, each step measured, deliberate, not rushed, not hesitant, like he had all the time in the world. And I had none. When he stopped in front of me, I realized something terrifying. He wasn't angry. He was certain. "You think this is a choice?" he asked quietly. I lifted my chin, refusing to shrink. "I know it is." A faint smile touched his lips, but it wasn't warm. It was the kind that came with consequences. "No," he said softly. "This is an arrangement." They placed the document in front of me like it was just another business deal. Pages of words I couldn't fully process. Legal terms, conditions, clauses. And at the bottom, a blank line waiting for my name. "This is insane," I whispered. "It's necessary," one of the older men replied. "Necessary for who?" I looked up at him, the man I was apparently supposed to marry. "You haven't even told me your name." He held my gaze for a moment before answering. "Adrian Castillo." The name felt heavy, like it carried stories I didn't want to know. "And you expect me to just sign my life away to you?" His expression didn't change. "I expect you to understand what happens if you don't." Didn't need to say it out loud. That was the worst part. No shouting. No guns pointed at my head. No dramatic threats, just quiet certainty. And the kind of power that didn't need to prove itself. "My family," I started. "They will be safe," Adrian said. A pause. "As long as you cooperate." That was it. That was the moment everything shifted. Because now it wasn't just about me. It never was. The pen felt heavier than it should have. Like it knew what it was about to do. Like it understood that once it touched paper, nothing about my life would ever belong to me again. "Sign it," one of them said. I didn't move. My eyes met Adrian's one last time. Why me? For the first time, something flickered in his expression. Not emotion. Not softness. Something else. "Because," he said quietly, "you were never supposed to survive this." And still, I signed. The wedding was planned in 3 days. Not months, not weeks. 3 days, no friends, no laughter, no joy. Just arrangements made by people who spoke in low voices and moved like everything had already been decided long before I arrived. The dress was expensive, beautiful even, but it didn't feel like mine. It felt like a costume in a story I didn't agree to be part of. I stood in front of the mirror, staring at a version of myself I didn't recognize. "You look like someone else," a voice said behind me. I turned. "Adrian, and whose fault is that?" I replied. He didn't answer immediately. His gaze lingered, not in admiration but in calculation. "Get used to it," he said. "After tonight, this will be the only version of you that matters." There were no romantic vows, no promises whispered with love, just signatures, witnesses, silence. When he slid the ring onto my finger, his touch was steady, controlled, but for a brief second, it lingered, and I hated that my body noticed. "I, Adrian Castillo," he began. His voice was calm, almost detached. When it was my turn, the words felt foreign in my mouth. Amina Okoye." My voice didn't shake. I didn't give them that satisfaction. But inside, something broke quietly. The room was too big, too quiet. I stood near the window, arms folded, watching the city lights flicker like they didn't care about what had just happened. Behind me, the door opened, then closed. "You can relax," Adrian said. I let out a dry laugh. "That's funny." He removed his jacket slowly, placing it aside like this was normal. Like we were normal. "I won't touch you," he added. That made me turn. "Not because I don't want to," he said, his eyes locking onto mine, "but because I don't take what isn't given willingly." Breakfast wasn't peaceful. It was structured, controlled, silent. "There are rules," Adrian said, placing his cup down. "Of course there are. You don't leave without telling me. You don't ask questions about my business. And you don't lie to me." I smirked slightly. "You just married a stranger, and you expect honesty?" His gaze darkened. "I expect survival," he corrected. It happened unexpectedly. A small moment. A servant dropped a tray, the sound echoing sharply through the room. Everyone froze. But not Adrian. "It's fine," he said calmly. "No anger, no punishment, just control." And for the first time, I saw something different. Not softness, but restraint. "Why did my sister run?" The question slipped out before I could stop it. Adrian didn't answer. "You owe me that much," I pressed. His jaw tightened slightly. She made a choice," he said finally. "And now you're paying for it." He grabbed my wrist. Not violently, not gently either. Just enough to stop me. You're pushing boundaries," he said. And you're hiding things." I shot back. For a moment, neither of us moved. His grip loosened slightly. That he didn't let go. The tension in the house shifted that night. Guards doubled, voices lowered. Something was wrong. Stay in your room," Adrian ordered. "Or what?" His eyes met mine. "Or you become a target." I wasn't supposed to hear it, but I did. "They know about the girl," someone whispered. My heart stopped. The girl, me. I confronted him. "You didn't marry me because my sister ran," I said. Silence. "You married me because someone wanted me." That was when I saw it. The truth. "You're bait," Adrian admitted. Anger burned through me. "You used me." His expression didn't change. "I protected you." "That's not protection." I snapped. "That's ownership. I'm leaving." The words hung in the air. Dangerous. Final. Adrian stepped closer. "You won't make it past the gate. Watch me. It wasn't planned. It wasn't gentle. It wasn't even right. But it happened. And for a second, everything else disappeared. Didn't want this." His voice was quieter now. "Real. But I won't let you die," he added. And somehow, that meant more than anything else he'd said. "I'll stay," I said. Not because I trusted him. Not because I forgave him. But because I understood something now. This wasn't just a marriage. This was a war. And if I was going to survive it, I needed to stop being the victim.